Yo, pay attention. This is what happens if you're a beater or a cheater. In Olive Branch, Mississippi, where the money is well kept and secrets are buried, while at residence they slept, there was this man named Jati. He was 50 years old, with a story of marriages. They're tarnished and cold. 3 times he had tried, and 3 times he had failed, because the vows that he took, they're the ones he derailed. He was a cheater, he was a player, he lived in his own lust, turning love into ashes and promises into dust. His 4th wife, Angela, she knew of his ways. She stuck by his side through the fog and all the haze. But a storm was now brewing. There was a debt to be paid for a life of betrayal and trust disarrayed. So one morning, the calm of the suburbs was cracked. It was a 911 call for a man. He had been attacked. The cops hit the scene, and the sight, it was profane. John Wilty was laying there, and he was soaked in the rain. It was his own blood, a puddle of crimson and red. He was shot in the chest, and he was shot in the head. And a trail of his own blood told the story of pain. The cops, they went to Angela's house to deliver the news, to study her character, and look for clues. But her reaction was vacant, and her action was frigid. Her story was rigid, and she wasn't the victim. She wasn't emotional, no shock, and there was no sorrow. Like John would be back on this side of tomorrow. She was calm as a bomb, totally acting numb, like her husband's demise had left her just feeling dumb. She told the detectives of a tale of abuse. John used to beat her and let the rage loose. But the cops, they were suspicious, and they tricked reports for her. And they found an old file that was much shorter for her, where she was the bully who couldn't be calmer. She had stabbed him and tried to make John take the blame for the trauma. And there was residue on her hands, on her face, on her shoes, just fulfilling their plans. The evidence tangible, and that motive was clear. The end of her marriage, it was finally here. In her phone, they found messages, flirty and crass, with several new men of a whole different class. The cops said, "Now Angela, you're going to jail." But her daughter was there, and she started to wail. Just kidding, bro. They started talking about life as nothing was wrong. Like her dad wasn't dead, like they knew all along. The only time tears even started to fall is when the cops wouldn't let her go smoke after all. Ooh, the story's getting heavy, and the truth is about to break. And if you're following the trail, for goodness sake, hit the like button and subscribe to the crime. Now back to the story, one rhyme at a time. So the evidence wasn't enough for a charge. They had to let her go. Angela's new life, it was ready to go. She cashed in the life insurance, a stack of cold cash, and then she went and spent it on lavish gifts, quick and in a flash. And there was no grieving. She wasn't mourning, just spending that money. A secret so heavy, it'll eventually crack. And the truth always has a way of finding its track. She had argued with Bradley. That was her son. He was torn. She asked him to get it, the tool that she had used. The gun was in the bucket, but her mind was confused. Why did she ask her own son to complete her dark deed? To bury that evidence and to plant the last seed. But he did not want to believe what his mom was admitting. The terrible truth, and his world was splitting. He went to the cops. His loyalty was frayed. And he told them the truth of how the trust she had betrayed. He said that she had killed him, his own father, froze his blood, and told him the place where the gun was, it was a flood. A confession of guilt. It was a son's heavy heart to tear his own family completely apart. So the cops went and they searched it. The house and the friend. Brought the whole case to an end. Because of the son, yeah, they found the gun. It was in a bucket of grime. This was the end of the line for the murderous crime. And on the gun was John's blood and the prints of his wife. It was the tool she had used to extinguish his life. And the gun was registered right to her name. It was the end of her freedom. It was the end of the game. A year after John had been left in the street, the cops came for Angela. The cycle was complete. She got 20 to life for the murder she planned, a story of vengeance across the whole land. Now John, he did not deserve it to die in the night, to be shot in the dark, and to lose his whole life. But the question is one that will echo and bend. If he had been a true husband, would this have been his end? I'd like to know what you think, my friend.